Everybody, I'm happy to have you at story time with me today. I have three wonderful books all about snowmen to read for you. The first book I have is called Snowmen at Night, and this book is by Carolyn Buhner, and pictures are by Mark Buhner. One wintry day, I made a snowman, very round and tall. The next day I saw him. He was not the same at all. His hat had slipped, his arms had drooped down. He really looked a fright. It made me start to wonder, what do snowmen do at night? I think that snowmen start to slide when it gets really dark, off the lawn and down the street, right into the park. They gather in a circle while they wait for all the others, sipping cups of ice cold cocoa made by all the snowmen mothers. Then the snowman games begin. They line up in their places, each one anxious for his turn in the snowman races. After everyone has had a chance at racing once or twice, they go on over to the pond to do some skating tricks on ice. Sometimes they start giggling and then they act like clowns. They bump into each other until they all fall down. They gather up their snowballs, the pitcher takes his aim, and underneath the moonlit sky, they play a baseball game. No one knows just how it started, but soon it's quite a sight, with snowmen throwing snowballs in the world's best snowball fight. Then it's time for sledding. It's a wild ride down the hill. Woohoo! They yell. This is by far the snowman's biggest thrill. Finally, they're all tuckered out and getting sleepy, so they slowly gather up their things and one by one they go. So, if your snowman's grin looks a little crooked, or he's lost a little height, you'll know just what he's been doing all night. The end. So, really, the sun or the moon is probably making your snowman melt because it's changing the temperature. But isn't that a really fun way to think about what your snowman could be doing? So, the next book I have for us is called There Was a Cold Lady Who Swallowed Some Snow. Swallowed some snow? Well, this book is by Lucille Colanandro and illustrated by Jared Lee. And I don't know why she would swallow some snow. Perhaps you know. There was a cold lady who swallowed a pipe. She wasn't the type to gulp down a pipe. She swallowed the pipe to warm her 10 toes that tickled and tingled from layers of snow. I don't know why she swallowed the snow. Perhaps you know. There was a cold lady who swallowed some coal. Hmm. What was her goal when she swallowed that coal? Well, she swallowed the swole she swallowed the coal to keep her pipes glow, and she swallowed the pipe to warm her 10 toes that tickled and tingled from layers of snow. I don't know why she swallowed some snow. Perhaps you know. There was a cold lady who swallowed a hat. Imagine that. A black brimmed hat. Hmm. She swallowed the hat before she froze, and she swallowed the coal to keep her pipes glow. She swallowed the pipe to warm her 10 toes that tickled and tingled from layers of snow. I don't know why she swallowed some snow. Perhaps you might know. Hmm. There was a cold lady who swallowed a stick, a long brown branch. What a pick! Do any of you know why she's been swallowing these things? Let's keep reading on and finding out. She swallowed the stick to push down the snow, and she swallowed the hat before she froze. She swallowed the coal to keep her pipes glow, and she swallowed the pipe to warm her 10 toes. It tickled and tingled from layers of snow. I don't know why she swallowed some snow. Perhaps you might start to know. There was a cold lady who swallowed a scarf. A scarf? A long, striped scarf. She tried not to barf. She swallowed the scarf because it was so cold. She swallowed the stick to push down the snow, and she swallowed the hat before she froze. She swallowed the coal to keep her pipes glow, and she swallowed the pipe to warm her 10 toes that tickled and tingled from layers of snow. I don't know why she swallowed some snow. Perhaps you know. Now, this cold lady had quite enough. So she thought and she thought and came up with a plan. I know! She hiccuped twice and out popped, you guessed it, a snowman. So it looks like she swallowed some snow for the snowman and some coal for the buttons and eyes, a stick for the hands and nose, a hat, a pipe, and a scarf. What a cool snowman. Well, those are all things we could definitely do, except for maybe eat them, but we can definitely make them with our hands. Have you guys thought about what kind of snowman you're going to build this year? Well, if you guys do build snowmen this year, please take a picture and send it in to me. I'd love to see them. For our last book today, this is called A Snowman Named Just Bob, and it was written by Mark Kimball and illustrated by Karen Hillard. This book is for our treasured family and friends, the moon, the stars, tiny little snowflakes, carrots, and each other, and all the innocent bystanders who get caught up in the magic of snow. It was late that one Thanksgiving when Bob first came to me, a joyful day of food and fun with friends and family. Now, we just had a Thanksgiving day too, didn't we? We'd feasted well, as I recall, our mother's fine cooked fare, then settled down to rest a while and nap without a care. No one knew what was to be as daylight grew quite dim. Though soon our lives would change so much simply because of him. The weatherman reported that no snow was due that night, but as we slept, the clouds rolled in, obscuring all the light. And though that weatherman had tried, he never could have said just what was forming in the sky directly over our heads. The moon grew bright, and then it disappeared. It broke into a laugh, and the stars began to dance a jig. The clouds just split in half. In retrospect, I do believe that magic came that night. No ordinary storm, you see, could stir up such a sight. The sky began to whirl around, then settled on its way. The wind skipped lightly through the trees, inviting me to play. And late that eve, there fell the first exquisite, tiny snowflake, followed by another, and still others in their wake. And this is when I dare to say that Bob first came to be, as pieces fell lightly like a robe over every hill and tree. He fell upon my window sill, and he landed in my hair. He frosted all my neighbors' homes and blew throughout the air. Just when it seemed the storm might pass, or at least be quite mild, the moon came out and gave a wink, and then stood back and smiled. It was like he knew the answer to a real life mystery, a delightful understanding that would soon be clear to you and me. Do you see the snowflakes dribbling all over their homes and laying on their window sills, covering the streets? What a beautiful sight. The snow took on an eerie cast, first pink, then blue, then gold. Then anxious little whirlwinds leaped around my feet so bold. Suddenly I heard Bob whisper. His voice was soft and kind, and he asked me if I'd help them, if I was so inclined, to gather up those many flakes and roll them into a ball, till he could be, and be with me, in shape and form and all. Bob, I cried, I just don't know where you are in all of this, 'cause all of you is everywhere throughout this snowiness. You're scattered over everything. How do you recommend that I gather all your goodness up and make a perfect friend? Then that Bob shared a secret, and I knew just what to do, for he whispered these words to me that I will now share with you. Friendship is a simple thing. The clue is just to start, as long as it is built on trust and love from your heart. I ran into my mother's house to wake those sleepy folks. I bid them come and help me to roll and pat and poke and build that grand old snowman and do a right good job to bring to life my special friend, my snowman named just Bob. We laughed and sang and ran about as Bob began to be. We gathered up what we would need, and everything was free. Some coal for his eyes, a carrot for his nose, some sticks, a scarf, and a hat, a smile so wide it warmed your heart, and a coat, and that was that. Perhaps you may think so far that magic ruled that day, but so far will seem like nothing compared to what was on its way. For this is when our new friend Bob decided to awake, and he opened up his twinkling eyes, and his belly did shake. His voice, I do remember, was something of a dream, his countenance so pleasing, unearthly it did seem. And though you might be doubtful, a talking friend made out of snow, this is what we heard from Bob, and he wanted us all to know. You've given me my eyes so I might see and blink, a mouth, a hat, and a carrot nose so I might speak and think. This scarf indeed is cozy. It's sure to keep me warm. And thank you all for giving me such a shapely form. I hope it snows a plenty, so I might stay and share in all of your loving friendship and your thoughtful tender care. But when it warms, or if in spring you miss that I'm not near, put a sign in your front yard that reads, Just Bob was here. Well, that was it. Was all Bob had to say that dreamy, starry night. He'd said his piece, then he closed his eyes, yet everything seemed just right. We all joined in celebration, for his message was quite clear that just like all good faithful friends, Bob is always near. What a beautiful message and a beautiful snowman. Bob was here. I really love that story because snow is so beautiful to me, and it's so exciting when winter comes. Yes, it's cold outside, but things are changing, and white is everywhere, and it just allows us to get out and be creative. So, until we get some more snow, I have some activities for you guys to get creative with too. In my bag this week, we have things like shapes, snowman shapes. So I have, what shape is this? Circles, very good. Square, triangle, rectangle, and so many more for you guys to go through and trace and practice your cutting skills, and then try building them together to make your own snowmen. And then we also have a couple pages with symmetry. Symmetry is the line in the middle there, and you are to draw the other side. It will look exactly the same if you were to draw it on both sides. So we have a snowman and a penguin. And of course, your snack is in there as well. So next week, I will be super excited to get with you, and we are going to be talking about gingerbread men. Well, I hope to see you there. Goodbye.